Okay, we're back.
We're here.
It's another brew video, and this week we're going to use one of my favorite brew methods, the French press.
This ginormous French press.
Yeah, and I'm going to start out by saying if you're in the market for a French press, I'll give you my tip of what I did wrong the first time. The first French press I bought was, you might have seen it on ThinkGeek, it was the R2D2 French press.
Oh, yep.
Version 1. The one that they sell now is really nice. The first version they did wasn't, because all of this inner working stuff, the plunger and all that kind of stuff, was plastic. So after 4 uses, it cracked.
Okay.
And I had to throw it away, which sucks, because this is what you're plunging hot water in, and I mean, if it's not metal, it's not worth it.
Plastic doesn't last.
And I mean, this one is, I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond, Bonjour. But I mean, a lot of different companies make them, but it's, you know, glass and stainless steel, so it's easy to clean. And make sure you clean these after every use, because they're easy to take apart and clean, and they're very easy to remain dirty if you keep them dirty. So, yeah, I use this pretty much every day that I don't do a Chemex, now that I'm a proud owner of a Chemex. And you were saying that you know how to make a French press, but you don't really use this a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a bit of a rookie, and this one scares me because it's really big. I've seen French presses that are like 4 cup, 6 cup. There's even a 1 cup French press that I've seen that's really little. But this one's a little intimidating because it's large.
This one's 10 cups. The normal ones that you usually get are 8 cups. If you use our kettle, which we're going to bring out in a minute, that fits the 8 cup one. So our kettle actually has less water than would actually fill in here, so we're not going to fill this directly up to the top, but that's fine because it makes a stronger cup of coffee. That's what we like here anyways. So all you need to start off is your French press. You need ground coffee, which we took whole bean coffee and we ground it coarse ground, right? Because that's the way to go if you're doing a French press. You're going to need hot water in some sort of kettle. Go to deathwishcoffee.com and buy ours because it's awesome. And you're also going to need, I just found this out like a month ago, that you want to stir your French press. I had no idea, so a wooden spoon.
You can do that well with your Chemex too, side note. You can agitate the grinds in the Chemex after like your first pour.
Did not know this. We're going to have to do another Chemex video. Look for that soon, and we'll do that again so we can add that in there. But I didn't know that. So first and foremost, what you're going to do, now this is optional. If you're taking this off your countertop or whatever, what you might want to do is wet this down with hot water because you don't want it to crack. This has been actually sitting in my studio for most of the day, so it's actually room temperature and nice, so it'll be fine. But you can wet it down first, and then you're going to add your grinds. Now, a lot of people say 1 ounce per 1 cup of coffee, or depending on the bag or the type of coffee, if you're using Death Wish coffee, use that kind of grind ratio. If you know me and if you watch these brew videos, I don't do math when it comes to grinding. So,
eyeballing it.
So just eyeball it. I say, because we're not going to fill it all the way up to the top, probably not use all of that.
Okay. But, I'm going to use the spoon.
There we go. See, the spoon's coming in handy.
Keep things clean. Let's keep it nice and neat. So the vessel has been prepared.
Yep.
We're putting the coffee in. You're going to tell me when to stop.
Yep. I think you're doing good. You're doing good. See? And that coarse ground is going to give you the best grind. All right, let's see where we're at. I think that's pretty good for, again, we're not going to be going all the way up to the top. And again, the reason why we love doing these brew videos, and you guys can experiment at home, I like experimenting with my French press. Depending on if I'm using Death Wish of Valhalla, or depending on how strong of a cup of coffee I want that day, I experiment with how many grinds I put in there, how much water I put in there, how long I let it sit for, because you're going to get a different cup of coffee and a different tasting cup of coffee every single time.
And it's good when experimenting to work on your evil laugh. Jeff's got a good one. A couple other people who have a good one. Dustin has a good evil laugh.
He does have a good evil laugh.
Someone else, when they laugh, makes me a little nervous too. But we'll work on that. Work on that while you're also experimenting with the grind and the ratio and all of that stuff.
And now you're ready to add hot water. And by the magic of editing, here's some hot water. And like I said before, with the Death Wish kettle, the reason why our kettle is awesome is not only is it this beautiful, vessel to heat your water in for any of your coffee brewing needs, but it comes with its own thermometer on top, and it gives you that perfect point in where you want that water to sit. Because a little known fact about anything that you're doing when you're adding hot water to coffee is you don't want it to be boiling. You want the water to boil, but you want it to come back down into that sweet spot between 195 degrees and 205 degrees, because if it's too hot, it's actually going to ruin the grinds, right?
Yeah, it's going to burn it. It's going to add that burnt taste to your coffee, too. So
you don't want that. So now we're going to add water about halfway. Now, again, this is probably only going to get to maybe about here, so like, let's say a little bit under halfway.
Alrighty.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Should I should just wet all the grinds, or that's what the spoon is for too.
Yeah.
To help wet all the grinds. I'm picking it up. I'm catching it. This is a good time, some downtime to talk about your feelings.
I feel excited about this coffee brewing experience with you, Sierra.
It's a good time to think about all the things that you have to tackle today.
Now again, some of you guys are going to say, oh my god, you didn't use enough water, oh my god, you used so much, you used way too many grounds, or whatever. And we're experimenting.
Like your opinion. That's just your opinion.
It's just your opinion, man. So that's about halfway. So what you're going to do is now you're going to stir it and kind of agitate those grinds. And I did forget to mention, but I'm keeping track of it off camera, you're going to want to do all of this within a 4-minute period. From the moment that you start that water on there is the beginning of that 4 minutes. You're going to pull it up to about halfway, you're going to agitate those grinds, and you're going to wait for that minute mark. And we're just about approaching that minute mark right now.
So I guess the spoon is really, it's just to make sure that all of the grinds are like totally submerged and being used to their best ability?
Yep, yeah, and that's all it is. And like I said, I've been making French press for years now and never knew that that was even a thing that you were supposed to do. Yeah, so you let that, again, you let that get to about your minute mark, which is what we're approaching right now. And then you're going to add the rest of your water. And then from that point to the end, you're looking for another 3 minutes to hit that 4-minute mark. So if you want to add away, go right ahead.
More water?
Yep.
More water. Are we going all the way up to the brim?
Yeah, use it all. Because again, this French press is actually larger than our Death Wish kettle. And as you can see, gives you about 2/3 of it up there, because this one actually, they say it's a 12-cup one. I say it's a 10-cup one.
Yeah.
You never want it.
You don't want it to get all the way. You don't want it.
So now, you just, in your whatever French press you have, you just put that plunger right at the top there, and you let it sit for those remaining 3 minutes. And by the magic of editing, those 3 minutes will be over. 3 minutes. 4 minutes total, 3 minutes from that halfway mark, and now all that's left to do is to plunge it down. The most fun part of the French press.
Now, from the very little that I do know about the French press, I've heard that you're supposed to go slow.
Yes. I don't know if that's just because it's more pleasing to go slow,
to just savor every.
Yeah, I don't know if you're actually straining it better. I'm not exactly sure. I do know, in my weird fun fact brain, that the French press was invented in 1929.
Okay, cool. I guess like if I had to guess why you go slow, I would guess it's kind of like for the same reason that you pour water slowly when you're brewing a Chemex. Mm-hmm. You don't want to pour it all at once.
Right.
And you don't want to go through the grinds all at once. You want to go slowly, so.
Right.
You get every last bit of flavor and caffeine. And
as you can see, this is rocket fuel. We made sure that we used a little bit more grinds than we should have and a little bit less water than actually this giant French press can use, so thus making rocket fuel of Death Wish coffee. But what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way we like our coffee.
Black as the sky on a moonless night.
Yes. And then there you go. You're ready to go. You're ready to pour yourself a cup. And again, my thing, I don't have this to show you guys, but if you go on over to deathwishcoffee.com, not only can you get our kettle, But you can also get our Stanley thermos, and that's what I use with this thing. When my wife and I make a full pot of this, we'll each pour a cup and then pour the rest in our Stanley thermos, and we have hot coffee all day long.
So flavor differences with the French press compared to other brewing methods. It's fuller, it's a thicker cup of coffee. It's pretty much the antagonist of the Chemex. That's how I see the French press, because it has a fuller body. You get those little micro granules. You get all the oil that comes in coffee when you brew French press, and some people really like that. So if you like that thick, dense cup of coffee, I feel like the French press is a good go-to.
Whoa! I don't know if you can see my pupils, but that just hit me.
I'll just drink it right out of here. Yeah. I don't have a mug.
That's a good cup of coffee. I've always loved the French press ever since I started utilizing it, probably about a year and a half ago. Because forever I was just a drip guy, just to hit the brew button and make it happen. But I really like this method.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's It's really low maintenance, and especially compared to the Chemex. As much as we love it, this is a really low maintenance way to get a really good cup of coffee.
And two things again: when you're done with your brew, definitely gonna want to clean that out. It's really easy to clean. This one's even dishwasher safe, but I usually just hand wash it as well. After every single use, that way it doesn't get all gunked up. And all of those grinds are deposited perfectly at the bottom. If you want to dry them out and use them in your garden, it's really easy to do.
Or as a face scrub.
You can go over to deathwishcoffee.com and check out some of our blogs on that too, which is pretty rad. So another successful brew method.
We did it.
We did it.
Cheers.
Cheers.